Welcome everyone to the March meeting of the Portland Human Rights Commission. We begin with introductions. I'm Jeff Kogan, the chair of the commission.
Lloyd Good, Commissioner.
Anastasia Maxey, Commissioner.
Tricia Knoll, Commissioner.
Hector Lopez, Commissioner.
Donna Maxey, Commissioner.
Donita Pride, Commissioner.
Abdul Majidi, good afternoon, Vice Chair.
Maria Lisa Johnson, Director of the Office of Human Relations.
And if folks around the side could also introduce themselves.
Kofi
Desu, Office of Human Relations.
I think that the more we can articulate our message, and I did prepare a very brief fact sheet on our work. It's very brief, but some talking points, some ideas about what you can highlight, what our work is so far, that would be good to read. So in case you are asked, well, why are you on the Human Rights Commission, or what does this office do, you can answer some of these questions. And again, we're happy to answer any questions for you and help prep you in the process of.
I could have sworn I remember hearing these verbose speeches when we were installed by each of the commissioners about what the importance they felt this office held and how they were going to fully support it. Now, was I confused or did I hear that?
No, you did hear that. And this is
having said that. You know, I'm just checking. Because you know, I have been known to make mistakes before. I thought I would check. So my concern is that, you know, when economic times are bad, that the first thing that goes are human rights. You know, we focus on the economic aspects of things because we really are all struggling, but people's human rights get violated tremendously. And I don't know how we can bring that out and remind them of that. I mean, is there something we can do? My experience is that politicians respond very readily to emails and faxes and phone calls and around those issues, and maybe we need to be getting out in the community and talking to various groups and having people flood their offices with calls.
We need to start getting out the stories, and there are stories, and nationally and internationally we're seeing an increase of scapegoating of low income, of immigrant communities, of communities of color. Because of the economic downturn, organizations are beginning to track this. We also have some successful interventions in human rights cases, and then some stories from our various programs that we need to highlight. And I don't know, Jeff, if it would be appropriate, but maybe we can share some of these stories here with you so that you can have those stories in your mind as you start to articulate.
Email and phone calls, because I know they keep track of the calls. And they keep a tally there of how many calls they have. They might not necessarily keep track of who called, but they do keep track of the call. Yes, you shaking your head. Yes, yes.
Yeah. And the phone numbers are right in front of you.
Yeah.
So I hope you make the calls.
I don't know how much clout we have yet. I know that individually there's folks who have a lot of to put together something like a press conference in which some of those stories can be told in the most positive way. This is what's at risk. This is what's at risk by cutting the budget.
Yes, it's important to get the stories out, and we've been talking about a media strategy, and Polo is really good at that. And we also need to get the stories out from the human rights work that we're doing, and also the stories about the commission and what it projects to do that is so visionary, because it is.
What is your date of your presentation before council?
March 10th.
At what time?
11:30.
That's next Tuesday.
Yes, essentially we have 10 minutes to make a plug for our budget, and then the Office of Management and Finance will take it all down. And then we get questions from council. So there's no opportunity for testimony there, but I think your presence there in support, and we'll have folks, only folks will be holding signs, and then also will be holding signs in support of just human investments and investments in human projects. So when better than now to invest in social capital, in people, in human rights.
The city's taking 5%, 4 or 5% cut, and they're looking to cut this 37%. I mean, just the disparity of that makes it seem like they're focusing on cutting human rights. Human Relations Commission, I think that's outrageous. And should be.
Yeah, percentage-wise, it is a big cut. I think that planning comes close, but not, I think it's a 30% cut in planning, and there is a merger of two bureaus, so that is part of that.
Yeah.
But it's also a bureau that was funded with a lot of money. So I wanted to just say, Erwin, I've been talking to the University of Columbia Law Center. They're doing research on human rights commissions across the country, and they've been calling our office about Portland. And when I told them about this idea and this project, the woman was beside herself. She was very excited. Nowhere else in the country has a human rights commission taken this on in this way. So she's very visionary in her life.
Right. Yeah, it's a very exciting start. Thanks for the leadership on it.
Yeah, and please, more feedback, more input. It's nice.
We have a request from the City Attorney's Office for 30 minutes of your time in April to do a training on ethics. And
As part of our
30 minutes
agenda in
as
our
part
April
of-
meeting.
Yes, as part of the formation of the commission. And the reason for that is it could be long, it could be a full day. I mean, 30 minutes on ethics, because there, I gather, have been issues with volunteer commissions as agents of the city, interacting with public and issues of ethics, and so we want to protect the commission and the integrity of your work. And then Hector had suggested that we put this on the agenda because we want to get ideas, and Hector in particular had suggested specific training around issues of difference, different cultures, different perspectives to come before the commission so that we and you all can become more immersed in the work of justice.
I discovered is how ignorant I am of many, many things, particularly about other people. And yet I act often as if I knew a lot of things about others until I'm corrected, and usually that's by an exchange of information, education. It really flows into what you're talking about. I think for those of us who sit in this commission who are daring to take on the challenge of human rights on behalf of the city of Portland, we need to understand and experience as much about our community as possible. And so the training idea is something that is ongoing. You know, I don't know what it means, once a month, once every 3 months, whatever. But that it provides an opportunity for people to come and share with us reality, their distinct reality, including spending a week at the police academy.
A week?
That was fully with you.
Another thing, since the district attorney, I mean, what is he, the city attorney?
City attorney.
I'm always thinking criminal system. I think I'd like to hear from the chief, sharing with us her perspective on not just police community relations, but on the whole issue of human rights from where she sits.
And I appreciate the opportunity to celebrate the space. It was not an easy find. It is in the heart of a community, and we are starting to get some foot traffic, and people who come feel really welcome here, feel like it is a space they want to just come and be. So we're happy about that. It's much different from City Hall, very different feel.
Indeed.